crowd, but they lose that game. So, Dayton's on a roll. Their only losses, by the way, are to overtime Kansas, overtime Colorado. They went to overtime against the Billikens and beat them the other day, but I still like that team. I think that's kind of an older team, a senior-oriented team, or at least an experienced team. So I look forward to a team like that doing some damage in the tournament.
I think you got to have 3 NBA players. That's the old Dick Vitale expression with this. You see 3 pros on a team, you give them a real shot. That's why I would say right now, I know they almost got beat at home to Vanderbilt tonight, Bob, but I wouldn't sleep on Calipari's team. I think Kentucky's got a shot here.
I do too. I think a lot of those teams, you can look down all over. Kansas is very good. They always are. There are teams in other conferences that I really like. I thought West Virginia would be better than losing tonight at Texas Tech. They got to win some of these road games. That was a winnable game, Andrew. They lost that one, and Penn State is currently playing. So watch out for Rutgers. I never thought I'd be saying that, but I am. All right, real quick, before we go to the lines at 412-575-2600, we had a debate on the Showdown. Ron Cook wrote a column on it now, and it seems to be one of those topics that will go, and you'll have different opinions, and they are very extreme. Antonio Brown eventually will be considered for Hall of Fame enshrinement into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Right now, if his career were to end as it is, and I think it will be, I don't think he'll ever play again in the NFL. Is he a Hall of Famer?
Absolutely. And I don't endorse Antonio Brown's behavior. I'm not a big fan of his whatsoever. I think he burned irreparable bridges here. He's somebody that will never go into the Steelers Hall of Honor unless he comes back, Bob, hat in hand. Ever somebody do that and kind of cry and sing the blues and beg for forgiveness? I haven't been in that kind of situation with you before, but I'm saying that's the Antonio Brown Steelers dynamic right now. That should not weigh into Hall of Fame consideration. I believe his 6-year run is maybe second to Jerry Rice in NFL history. In my lifetime,
I would agree with that.
In my lifetime, the only wide receivers who were better than him are Rice and Randy Moss. And if we're going to consider guys like Tony Baselli and Terrell Davis, who had short but very sweet careers, then by that logic, it's a no-brainer. I don't care how destructive he was, what he said off the field. Antonio Brown is a slam-dunk Hall of Famer. That doesn't mean you need to cheer him and root for his enshrinement, but if you go by the bottom line, his production, he produced like a Hall of Famer.
And the difference between the Baseball Hall of Fame and this Hall of Fame and the Pro Football Hall of Fame is that there is no morals clause, so these guys don't have to consider anything other than what the players do on the field. And quite frankly, I think baseball should make an amendment and start doing it that way. Because, I mean, you could talk about guys on and off the field. Off the field really has no bearing on what they do on the field, and I think that should be changed. That's just me. Let's go to the lines at 412-575-2600. We have Rick in Squirrel Hill. Hello, Rick. How are you?
Hi, Bob and Andrew. How are you?
Hey, man.
We're good.
Hey, I just want to bring up a point. Anybody who thinks the Pirates rebuild, I don't believe it. Their whole thing is anytime any player's close to being a free agent, they trade him. Anytime a player's salary is too high, they trade him. Then they bring up minor leaguers, and maybe they'll fill in with players that nobody wants or has-beens. And that's what I think is going to continue. And one thing, go look up Al Kaline's stats. You tell me if you think he should be in the Hall of Fame. Thanks.
No, you're way out two different topics there. You had Bob Nightingale, the writer, who tweeted the other day the Pirate payroll was at $43 million.
And then slammed him for it on the show today.
And they should be slammed for that. I don't think it'll end up there, but it's not going to go much above that. What was the solution that he pointed out about what maybe Major League Baseball Players Association, the league, whatever, to try to ensure that you don't have teams with $43 million?
Right. You mean you've got to create, I think, if it's not going to be a strict rule where everybody has the same exact payroll, you create a top, a ceiling, and a floor. And he put out the idea, and this is a guy that has covered baseball, Bob, for more than 30 years. He said 110 to 120 million is the floor. And that still could create a situation where, you know, the Yankees and Red Sox and Astros Cubs have double that. So that, to me, is still not an exact perfect solution.
But it's better.
It's better than what we have right now, where one team can spend $250 million. The Pirates get a revenue sharing check. They get a new television deal, and they're still spending $40 million.
And those teams at the top paying that revenue money don't like it that way. Clearly they don't. If you're the Yankees or the Red Sox, you want to see, if you're going to have to supply money to other franchises, make sure they put it into their team, their current team, their parent team. And that has not been done with, it's not just the Pirates, there are other teams doing it too, but at some point you need to create, I think, a cap and a floor, but we may never get to that day. Tony is joining us now in the Hill District. Hey, Tony, how you doing?
Hi, Tony.
Hello, Bob. How you doing? How you guys doing?
We're good. Thank you.
I'm gonna make a point. Try to make a point here. Don't you think that the NFL quarterbacks should start listening to what their body is telling them? Because like Ben Roethlisberger, I think he should try to retire or hold himself back from coming back because he had appendectomy, the motorcycle accident, then this surgery and stuff like that. That's why I commend Andrew Luck for stepping back because he was listening to his body. Don't you think that Ben should do the same thing?
No, it's a personal.
It's going to cause him a problem in the long run.
It's a personal choice. He wants to continue to play, and I know that he's on his way to what he thinks is going to be a full recovery. Why should he stop? That's a personal choice. Andrew Luck was under 30. He decided it was best for him, and everyone has to make this choice at some point. Consider your family, your wife, your kids, whatever the case, and make a decision. He made his, and I don't think Ben should do anything except what Ben wants to do.
Quarterbacks have never been better compensated. They've also never been better protected. So it's a perfect storm to have guys like Tom Brady stick around until they're 45, Drew Brees play into his 40s, and nobody second guess it. I mean, the Andrew Luck example at quarterback is still the exception to the rule. Now, Bob, if you want to tell me offensive linemen who take a beating on every play, and inside linebackers like Luke Kuechly, guys with a history of head injuries, they want to get out in their late 20s, I get that. But they put a bubble around quarterbacks. They protect them because the NFL knows. You heard Goodell on Patrick Mahomes today.
Right.
He gushed about him. He acted like it was a surrogate kid. and so for that reason,
you could, if you've had a lot of injuries, you still have that option if you want to do it. He's made enough money. If Ben Roethlisberger wanted to walk away, nobody would say anything. Great career.
But the fire still burns in him to win, especially
That's
after getting cheated out of a 2019
season. He believes he still has, and I do too. I think if he's healthy, gets in there, I think you can see 2 more productive years from him. All right, we'll take a break. When we come back, Pete and Squirrel Hill and more of your calls at 412-575-2600. This is the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call, powered by FanDuel Sportsbook from our new digs. The Fan Cave right here on Pittsburgh CW.